We're here. Inside the taco compound. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Welcome to FaBled Hunters.
I'm Yuanji.
I'm Saint.
And today we're going to open the news.
The news. It's another episode of Last Month Today.
All right. It's been kind of I would say, within Flesh and Blood, a little bit more of a quiet month. Usually the holiday season is a little bit down, but we're going to kick it off with some spicy out of Flesh and Blood TCG news.
Yeah.
So there were supposedly a couple of leaks.
There's more than a couple of leaks.
Yeah.
There's more than a couple.
Yeah, so the topic that we're talking about, of course, is Magic 30th.
Yeah, we've already given our perspective on Magic 30th Anniversary, the event, plus the product. Mm-hmm. But the leaks were surrounding the colossal and monumental financial failure that was Magic 30th. The first set of leaks, and there were multiple emails, maybe only one or two of them, made it onto the Discord and made it onto Reddit, but they're all saying the same thing. They're saying that only 2,300, I think it was like 2,246, that number fluctuated. Around 1,940 of those were from North America. The remainder, whatever, 300 and something, were from the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Only that few were sold. And at $1,000 a box, that means that Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro, only captured 2.3 million or less. I also heard there were cancellations. By the way, anybody that wants to cancel are having FOMO. It might not be too late if you did international transactions.
Yeah, I think the whole point of this topic is just that it's putting an actual number to... I think everybody already kind of knew that the public sentiment for the set was very poor.
Yep.
But, I mean, when there are bad sets, like, they don't flop on this scale.
This is probably the biggest flop in the history of TCGs. Really, I was there for Chronicles, and the sentiment was bad for Chronicles, but in terms of catastrophe level, maybe it was like a 7.5 out of 10.
Okay.
This is like a 15.
To put it into perspective, so we have from some insider sources that, and I think this was also made public on various like social media outlets, but that the scale of Wizards' original projected sales.
Yep.
They wanted to sell upwards of
100,000 plus.
140,000.
Well, 140,000. Yeah. Well, Yuanji and I have had access to further emails that are not public. Mm-hmm. We don't want to give out the sources, but they're definitely not out in the aether. All I can say is there are members that are angry, that are TCG enthusiasts, that work in the building of Wizards of the Coast, even in the international supply chain, like different distribution members, logistic members, warehouses internationally, that had received memos from Hasbro saying that they wanted to sell 140,000. They had estimated 140,000 units being sold. Now, you add the 140,000 to the WPN allocation of estimated 7,000, because there's 3,000 stores, each minimum gets one. Mm-hmm. The platinums get 4, and that's roughly 7,000. Estimate that maybe 3,000 got given away at Magic 30. I think there was another Magic Con. It's funny how they call it cons now instead of fests. Yeah. Magic Cons, Hasbro conning your money. Magic Con Pennsylvania and others, 3,000. So they basically, and other content creators, they basically gave away 10,000 units. They only sold 2,300. Let's even round up for the sake of simple math. 2.5K or less units.
Yeah.
And that leaves 137,500 units. Over 135K. So 137.5 thousand units that are sitting around unsold.
Yeah, we don't have. We of course we can't verify the exact number, but the order of magnitude, they are not capturing
Yep.
north of $100 million worth of revenue.
North of $137 million. They wanted to make $140 million in revenue. They captured south of 2.5 million. Probably something like 2.3 million in revenue. So they fell 98.5 or something percent short. It's like you're running a race and you're trying to run 1K,
Yeah,
but you only make it like
one step.
yeah, exactly, like one step, and that's how far they got. It's really, really bad. Again, different members of their ecosystem verified this, so we triangulated that information.
Yeah.
And the people that did come out and beat their chest and say that they supported this to the tune of 100 or more units, they came out publicly. Some of them are content creators. Let's see. There was Graded Power, right? Graded Power. There was Vintage Magic, Mr. Chang out west, that said, "Oh, I bought over 100 units. I'm proud of it. I'm going to make a lot of money." Meanwhile, they are already 200 plus out of the 2,000. And some certain castles of cards, some certain card shops that might be alive, might be dead, they've come out, and said they wanted to support that product, and they definitely haven't denied it. Entities like CGC have come out and proudly displayed their graded products. Funny how the least successful TCG grading company did that, and not only that, the products, the 7,000 plus products that the WPN stores are getting, they're being released right now, first week of January, and they're going to flood and offset the 2,300 units that were sold and delivered by 3 to 1. So there's all sorts of shilling going on. We don't need to cover that. That's just there. I was there to verify the shilling of PWCC and the identical patterns of auction shilling that were happening with PWCC, the patterns that were happening of Heritage Auctions, is happening with the Magic 30th product. But enough about that.
I have some takeaways, but we'll get back to that on a different topic. So there was a lot of outrage, I think, in the months of October, November about this product before its actual release. And I think among some other concerns of various things relating to kind of the Magic brand, they decided to host, I think, a fireside chat.
A fireside chat.
I feel like fireside chat is like
with good old bag of cocks.
It's like corporate euphemism for everything's fine.
Yeah, everything's just fine with the dog and the burning inside the burning house.
Yeah,
right. That fireside chat. I attend a lot of quarterly reports and public-facing, investor-facing calls due to what I do when I'm not handling TCGs.
Right.
And this, again, it mirrored the epic and monumental failure of Hasbro in trying to put the fire out. It was the CEO of Hasbro, Chris Cox, Dr. Baga Cox, talking about, riding off in his cockmobile and attending cocktail parties saying, "Oh, back in the day when I first started, only about 30% of people knew who I was at these cocktail parties. But now, nearly 100% of people know who I am as a CEO of Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast." And it was really, really bad. The Cynthia Williams, I think the president of Wizards of the Coast, literally couldn't describe what Magic the Gathering was. It's like, it's two wizards playing with cards, throwing spells at each other, summoning creatures, and beating each other up. She couldn't even say that like a normal human being.
Yeah.
She robotically read the Wikipedia entry defining what Magic the Gathering was.
Was this when they made the announcement that they heard the concerns and that they felt that there was no overprinting of products?
Yes, Cynthia Williams. Yeah. I might be butchering her name, but Cynthia Williams, the president of Wizards of the Coast, who doesn't even know what Magic is, it was like, "Oh no, we don't overprint any cards. Everything's fine." And then not only that, they doubled down and they said everything was so good that what they're doing to Magic the Gathering, they're going to do to their Dungeons and Dragons IP. They're like, we've already, captured so much money off of our Magic the Gathering enthusiasts. We're going to do the same to D&D. So watch out, D&D players.
Yeah, I don't know what that says for D&D into the future, but at least it's information.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Okay, so after that, we have kind of interjected into all of this Flesh and Blood related. There was
Heck yeah.
There was a organized play announcement for the year of 2023, and so basically what it was LSS saying that they are recommitting the $1 million per year to organized play prizes.
Yep.
And a little bit, I think, of a restructuring of the events in order to respond to player feedback. I think the main issue that a lot of players had with 2022, not saying that 2022 was...
It was a great year. It was just hectic, right?
Yeah, so particularly towards the end of the season, when you had ProQuest 2, like feeding into Pro Tour 2, then you had Road to Nationals right after that.
Right.
Then you had Pro Tour 2, Nationals,
a slew of callings.
Worlds, all in the span, I think, of about like a 4-month window.
Yeah, I mean, we were there. You were there more than I was, but even I was there. I remember attempting to recover from Lille.
Yeah.
Work recovery and whatnot, life and work recovery, getting back on track, and then right after that, getting ready for M30, but also obviously Worlds, and that was hectic. That was a lot. I can only imagine for the greater Fab community how taxing that was.
Yeah, so I think partially to address that, as well as to address maybe some of the concerns that people had about something like formats getting a little bit stale, like during Starvo was basically top dog for 2 ProQuest seasons and the Pro Tour. They've decided to change. They've consolidated both Pro Tours into one.
One Pro Tour, one Worlds. Yeah, 2 majors.
Yeah, so 1 Pro Tour, 1 Worlds, and then their national season they're treating as like the third major season.
Is that a conscious effort by LSS, or is that just the community coming together and recognizing?
Yeah, in the article. James specifically, I think, uses the phrase 3 major product releases, 3 seasons. I believe James has said in the past that he might be interested in going up to like 4 products a year, but they don't have the bandwidth for that. Like design wise.
By the way, it's bothering me now.
Yeah.
Because we will alter it. We'll leave it running. But our community's favorite cinematographer has come out and personally messaged me saying that he really hates watching our episodes when our background isn't fully aligned because it's a bad angle.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna cut this really quick. Okay, we're back. So it was bugging me because shout out to Tales of Alex. We just because Alex won't let me hear the end of it. He's like, Saint, if you do one thing, just make sure the background is lined up.
Oh, okay.
Because it's infuriating from somebody with a cinematography and directorial background.
Yeah.
Anyways, back on track. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so basically the way that they have it highlighted is 3 major product releases and 3 kind of organized play seasons. Okay. So you have the Pro Tour season, which is going to coincide with the Outsiders release. Then you have the next kind of supplemental set that's going to come out. That's going to be with the Nationals season, so people are going to try to qualify for their national championships, and then the national championships are going to be held.
Yep.
And then there's going to be the Worlds season with the next kind of like main booster draft set to cap off the year. And I think that them spacing it out like this, not having an extra Pro Tour kind of like sandwiched in, is just going to make, I think, everything a little bit more manageable. As well as, this is not December news, but quite recently, as of January, do you know Realm Gaming?
No, Realm Gaming, no.
So Realm Gaming is basically it's an LGS in Ohio. They threw like one of the biggest battle hardens. I think it was like a 10K.
Really?
Battle harden, yeah.
Did it hit attendance numbers?
It hit attendance numbers that only lost them a little bit of money.
Like 1,000 out of 10K or something like that?
I don't know what their financials are because they also ran other events at the site.
Okay.
But I wanted to highlight this is because one of the benefits of having the like official LSS schedule
Yep.
a little bit more spaced out is that it gives the community
the chance to be creative,
space to develop out like what they want. And I think that for a lot of the people who are watching our channel, they're not maybe as familiar with Magic Organized Play.
Mm-hmm.
But Magic Organized Play, at least when I was playing between the years of I think 2013 to 2016,
Yep.
a large part of the growth of the game being able to grow from having, I don't know, like 400 to 700 people at GPs, growing into
up to 10,000.
Up to like 10,000.
Yep.
Part of that, like the Star City Games circuit, was I think a big part of growing the scene. And in particular, Star City Games at the end of every year would throw, they called the SCG Invi or Invitational.
Yep.
And basically what they were doing is they would have this like on par with a Pro Tour. I think it was like a 30 or 40K, whatever, prize pool.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to qualify to enter this tournament. So you did that by playing in their big open events, or you also could qualify by playing Star City Games qualifiers, which were basically like these kits that they sold to LGSs to promote people to go to their LGS to play tournaments run by their local stores to feed into this larger circuit. And this is a model that Realm Gaming is starting to adopt for their, I think they're doing a 25K invitational at some point next year. But I think it's overall going to be a positive thing for Flesh and Blood. A lot of more grassroots run gaming scenes, like you think about like fighting games, maybe some like lesser popular like TCGs, whatever, all are kind of uplifted by having a really strong grassroots tournament scene.
That's interesting. I completely agree. Mm-hmm. So the structure is more tight, and it just, more tight and fewer issues to focus on, fewer events to focus on for LSS proper, so that each individual region can develop, their own communities, and maybe key stores from their communities can rise up and create, self-sustaining events. That's definitely interesting for sure.
Yeah.
And then not only that, I just want to say one thing. The whole 3 majors plus a nationals was hectic, but even a huge game like League of Legends,
they only do 2 majors.
Yeah, they've got 2 majors. They've got MSI, mid-seasons, invitationals, plus Worlds that are like they sandwich, a season individual season in between, like the LCK season, and that totally makes sense. However, I would like to suggest that maybe nothing super serious, but if there was something like a team blitz or something in between, call it November and March, or in between that end of year, beginning of year event, something that didn't have any ELO, didn't have any huge consequences, something for fun, like what we had experienced in Vegas. That would be pretty interesting, right? During the off season, there was like hey, look, this is fun. Let's do this.
Yeah, we have to see how they break it down. So I think given the money that they have publicly announced that they're allocating towards their OP, you can kind of do the math. Like they're allocating it's like $200,000 for the Pro Tour, $300,000 for the Worlds.
Yep.
Then they said that I think that they were going to allocate another $200,000 towards callings.
Yep.
But you do the math, and callings are about like 20Ks.
Yep.
So that means that there's going to be about 10 callings.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
And then the rest is battle hardened and whatever, like
everything
nationals.
Else. And then nationals.
Everything else. And so, like, knowing that there's only going to be about like 10 callings, it just helps set expectations, I think, for the frequency of events. Overall, I think we're at a kind of watershed moment for Flesh and Blood organized play.
Okay.
It's kind of LSS, like maybe like relinquishing a little bit of control, but then also trying to improve on their own product. I've heard rumors that they're trying to kind of make Worlds like even more like a step up from how they did it on the first iteration.
Wouldn't be too hard, man.
Yeah, I don't.
Given the facilities, and given the lack of bathrooms on premise.
Yeah, but I think
not LSS's fault.
No, but I think also from a production standpoint. So like there's a lot of things that they're I think working on behind the scenes to improve on their own product.
Absolutely.
So I see it as a moment of opportunity. 2023 is going to be a moment of opportunity for organized play, both for new players, not just like people who are playing the game, but like new individuals, groups, companies, whatever,
Yep.
to kind of make a spot for themselves within Flesh and Blood's organized play ecosystem.
Absolutely.
And then also for LSS to improve on their product.
Yeah, and in terms of production, I would say that the final tally was somewhere between 1,200 or 1,400 unique people showing up to Worlds in 2022.
Yeah.
I would strongly be interested in seeing how things turn out if they are able to release their player versus environment or PvE product before Worlds 2023. And I mean, I just have to say that would definitely pack the house and create that boom of players, that influx of interest. I don't know. I've got my fingers crossed. Let's hope that James and the LSS team can pull it off within this calendar year. They've got 11 more months to go.
Okay. So around Christmas time, there was a kind of fun little lore article released on the Flesh and Blood official website.
Okay.
Squeaker's Christmas.
Yeah.
And so I think lore is a pretty important aspect for the game, but what I wanted to highlight is that they also gave us a little teaser into Outsiders.
Well, how they presented the teaser was really, I mean, it was like an Easter egg. It was like a video game Easter egg.
Yeah.
It was that complicated. Like, you literally had to highlight the whole article and see that when highlighted, there was a hyperlink to one of the periods within a sentence.
Yeah.
Right?
They had like a little, it was like a tiny image.
Yep.
I think everybody's excited because Assassin is coming back in Outsiders.
Well, yeah, and they spoiled that card because if you clicked on that period, it linked you to the actual image, right? And that basically just spoils that Assassin is making a follow-up appearance, right?
Yeah, so I think Assassin has been a community favorite. A lot of people really like Assassin. You can tell by the secondary market, a lot of the Assassin cards very in demand.
Yep.
As far as organized play, I don't know if it's quite there yet, but makes sense. There's going to be another set of support coming up very shortly. So
yeah, for sure.
Who knows? Maybe it'll be a player in the next season.
And then the collectors are all, clamoring about surgical extraction, right?
Oh man,
because that's short printed and it's been proven to be short printed by now, and it's also a very playable card, right?
Yeah. So I mean, we'll have to see how Assassin comes out in Outsiders, but I'm excited. I always enjoy. I wasn't exactly sure. It's like a little bit of like a fourth wall breaking type of like art like lore like piece. I don't know if they're actually having Christmas parties while killing each other. But
well, no, isn't Azalea a bad guy as is Arachne?
Yeah, but you think they're having Christmas party? Maybe
it's just maybe it's just time out, right? And I don't think they're against each other. Obviously, Reinar and Dorinthia aren't friends, right? And I think Dorinthia or Solana probably doesn't get along with the Runeblades.
The monastery.
The monastery, right?
Yeah.
So that, right? But maybe like Dash. I can see a world where Dash and Arachne and Azalea don't want to kill each other. They're kind of like lone wolves, right?
Okay.
Right? Maybe it's like a guild of some sort. I just don't think it's lore bending it's not out of the question that they're neutral.
Okay.
Right?
That's fair. Taking a break from Flesh and Blood, we want to circle back. This is something that I wanted to touch on when we were talking about Magic 30th, but then kind of as a response to Magic 30th, I think Konami took notice. I think maybe we'll look for some of the memes that got posted.
Yep.
But basically, they're like, "Ooh, people don't like getting charged $1,000 for the anniversary."
Who would have thunk it?
Anniversary.
Maybe this is a bad idea.
Yeah. So Yu-Gi-Oh is celebrating its 25th anniversary.
Yeah. This came out right before Christmas, around the 20th of December.
Yeah.
Right, and they reprinted all of their OG stuff, all of their really good stuff. Unlike Magic 30th, I believe their reprints in Yu-Gi-Oh are legal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so these are playable. Like their, I think, Blue Eyes White Dragon or something like that. Their Black Lotus and all of that, all of the good stuff. They reprinted it, and I think what was it? Like the whole set was like $30 or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's like a $30 like product
Box with some
that you I think I'm not sure. I think it might be random.
oh, randomized booster. Yeah,
like boosters.
But there's even special chase cards within the box, which are elevated versions, elevated reprints of some key Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yeah, but the price point, which is not $1,000.
No, it's not 1,000. It was like 30 or 30, something like that. It was a low, very reasonable, very budget price point, which was inclusive. It was meant to include every enthusiast in the community. And I mean, Konami's notoriously panned throughout the years by their player base.
Yes.
But they stuck the landing here, right? And then you compare that to Pokemon, where they had like Pokemon 25-year celebration.
Oh yeah. They had a whole. Yeah, I think the Pokemon Company, maybe it's a product of the different audiences that they're catering to.
Yeah.
So I think usually children are a little bit more forgiving, I think.
Of course.
But I think...
Well, the parents of children too, right? They didn't have a problem, spending a lot of money. That Pokemon Celebrations and the 25th anniversary suite of products did rather well. I went to Rudy's house and, Uncle Rudy helped out our little princess as well, and she loves the product. She saw the boxes, and we're gonna maybe open some in the future.
Yeah, but they're priced same
reasonably. Yeah, exactly.
As
like
any
the
other
same
product.
As a regular product.
Yeah,
which was the right thing to do. I mean, the Pokemon Company figured it out. Later on, the Yu-Gi-Oh company, Konami, was like, you know what? This is the way to go.
Yeah.
And it's like, of all things, of all the choices that Wizards of the Coast had, why did they print a $1,000 proxy product? That's like the worst ever.
I would pay to have a time machine to go into like the office meeting where it got pitched.
Yeah.
And then I just wanted to see what like the reactions were.
Yeah.
It must have been well received internally.
I don't know. I mean, I would think that Mark Bottomwater was at those meetings and should have sat up and said something. Maybe he's just getting paid too well, and now he's just a suit.
Yeah, so I think with this news topic, I wanted to make the point that I alluded to earlier, where I feel like this is really a case where voting with your wallet, voting with your money really works. Mm-hmm. In the sense that like these companies like Wizards isn't gonna collapse because they didn't make the money on the Magic 30th product, but it's letting them know that this is not cool.
It's not okay.
Yeah. That you're just making a shitty product if you're trying to exploit your customer base so openly.
Yep.
And I think that was in general a win for the consumers of TCGs.
It is. It was a win for the entire TCG community, and it was a warning signal to every other publisher. I don't think we ever need to be doubtful of Legend Story Studios for taking a road like that, right? That is not a line. That is not ever a card that they play. It's like, oh, print $1,000 for 60 cards, blow up our company and blow up, all consumer confidence.
Not too many things left. Towards the end of the year, I think Dice Commando did a video where he had awards.
Yes, community content creator awards,
Yes,
right?
We got an award.
We did. It was kind of what was it again?
Deepest Pockets.
Deepest Pockets. I mean, hey, I appreciate that we as Fabled Hunters get recognized, and even how he described us about being influential in the collector community, you being influential as a player.
Saint Hung is a legend in the Flesh and Blood community. He may potentially be personally responsible for Fab's initial success. Very much a finance and collection focused channel, Saint and Yuanji over at Fabled Hunters are staples within the Flesh and Blood community.
That was great, but Deepest Pockets?
I mean,
come on, man.
It's a compliment to your out of Flesh and Blood accomplishments.
I guess you could see it that way, but we also put in like, honestly, don't we? Have we put in a couple thousand hours in these 2-3 years
a lot of time.
to get this channel going and to spread the game of Fab? Regardless, it's still very much appreciated to be recognized, even if it's as the deepest pocket award.
All that money, all that time, we couldn't figure out how to do that camera angle properly.
Yes, we couldn't, but we fixed it in this episode. Anything else?
Yeah, last, this is like a bit of personal news, I guess. At the end of the year, you made a trip to Jacksonville?
Yes, I made a trip to Jacksonville, and it was just supposed to be some openings between friends.
Between old white guys and Saint.
And me, yes. And I live streamed it.
Yeah.
And I really haven't figured out how to properly live stream, and the quality seems to suck. And that was some of the feedback from the community in past and these recent episodes.
I think it has to do with also like your internet connection.
The bandwidth.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's something that, it makes sense. Rudy's first ever live stream, I don't think he had all the infrastructure figured out.
Yeah, he didn't even have the angles correct or whatnot, because he was it was horizontal, or no, it was vertical, more vertical facing. Yeah. Whenever you tried to tilt the camera, it was messed up. It took him like 5 minutes to figure it out, but I was really happy just to be the present at the very first Alpha Investments live stream, and not only that, we had included a different demographic, something, we had pulled from that pool of 3% beautiful ladies, as Ruby said.
Yes.
Right? And
3% subscribers.
Yes, the 3%. For us at FaBled Hunters, I think it's 0%. I've looked at the YouTube analytics. We're literally 100.0% males ages 25 to 55.
Okay.
So, yeah. We don't have 3% beautiful ladies.
We'll work on that.
We'll work on that. We will. Supposedly, I've been advised not to make as many references to the pink snatch. Although it's a card. It's a very impactful card. But yeah, it was really amazing that we were a part of Rudy's first ever live stream. And it was a live stream with 3% beautiful ladies, plus open boosters. Plus, Rudy was filming. I was filming from a different angle. Yeah. And that was epic. And, I mean, just to close out New Year's Eve, the one Legends Rare that we pulled out of over 120 possible Legends Rares was the card Greed. Greed of Magic the Gathering. Greed of WotC. Greed of Hasbro. So we closed that out, pulling that rare. It was literally, you can't make this up. Sometimes fact is stranger than fiction. Yeah. But guys, viewers, if you guys didn't catch the live streams, we had 5 different live streams. They're in the live segment of the FaBled Hunters channel. There was a lot of other stuff that was pulled. There were some epic packs. Some of those were already posted by Rudy on Alpha Investments. But as TCG enthusiasts, we had opened up Magic the Gathering. We had opened up Flesh+blood. There were 2 boxes of WTR Alpha open. There was 1 box of Arcane Rising First opened. There were some life lessons from Rudy and Dan, Alpha Investments and Open Boosters. And it was just a fun time all around. So please check it out. Let us know what you think. Comment on everything.
Last piece, we already covered it in another FaBled Hunters video. Yep. But wanted to just announce that in December, FaBled Hunters started a partnership with Beckett. It's been a tumultuous relationship.
It has been in the past handful of years. We had a very rough patch in 2021 and throughout some of 2022. But we've mended fences, Beckett and specifically myself, and we are giving them a shot. We are now an official partner as of December 22nd, 2022, 12/22/22. We are an official partner. I've already sent 4 batches just to test the waters, and we are extending that partnership throughout FaBled Hunters. I can't promise that I will be doing anything to help the community. However,
in this regard,
however, I would say that maybe we're looking at extending it to some benefits in Patreon. Yuanji and I are going to look at it after the results come back. We fully expect to see the results at the middle of February to March, and then we're going to assess because we want to try them out first. They said they've turned over a new leaf. They said that they've got an open channel of communication, and hopefully it'll, this partnership will be used to expand BGS to other TCGs, but primarily Flesh and Blood. And it'll extend to, your influence on Discords, my influence on the multiple Facebook groups that I'm an administrator of, and hopefully it benefits the Patreon supporters in the long run.
Yeah, so just a quick plug. Thank you, everyone, for supporting us through all of 2022. If you want to support us even further than just hitting that like button for the algorithm or hitting subscribe, then we do have a Patreon service available where we release 2 videos every month.
That's correct. And we already reached that 69 Patreon supporter number.
Yeah.
So we don't want to keep it at 69. We want to grow north of 69. So we appreciate your support to date. It's amazing that we hit that Patreon supporter count in a few short months. I think we started late Q3, early Q4.
Yep.
And it's a testament to, and is validating how many people are supporting us. And we value our Patreons above everybody else because they're the closest supporters of FaBled Hunters. The Patreon members have direct access to us. We do our best to answer any of the concerns. And a lot of our content is actually made around suggestions from our Patreon supporters.
And so thank you, everyone. And I think that's all we have for this month.
That's all we got. Appreciate it, everybody. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, twiddle that notification button, and we'll see you next time. Bye.